Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Kryptonic, and today I'm doing something very interesting. I'm giving new life to a computer that I got off of Facebook Marketplace, and I'm converting it into kind of a sleeper, cool looking computer. I just think it's really cool that if you kind of put your price together, you do things right, and you look for pieces, you can kind of get yourself a pretty cool little computer if you take the time. Anyways, guys, let's get straight into the video. Alrighty guys, so this little Facebook deal is something out of the ordinary. So I was just casually going through Facebook and I saw a $20 listing for this computer. Now, what does this computer have? Well, honestly, I didn't know either. The listing didn't really say much of anything and it was kind of far away from me. I usually try to stay within 30 miles of driving distance, just because I don't really like going too far for parts. If I don't have to, go for the part, I prefer to just wait for a deal a little bit closer. But this was $20 for a computer with a bunch of components on the inside. And honestly, the listing didn't really say much either. They just said it had a few parts, power supply, and a few little things. And I was like, hey, $20, the power supply at the time, I couldn't find any power supplies for under $30, and this was a 600 watt bronze. So I was like, you know what, I'll go get it. I went to go get it within like an hour or two of messaging her because, your boy knows a good deal when he sees one. So I got there, gave her the $20, I got the computer, and she said, oh yeah, there's some random CPU in there. I didn't think much of it. I thought probably an i3 because she said it was an older gaming computer that they just had laying around. I thought whatever. I got home, opened it up, and I see it's an i5 4460. But in this case swap, upgrade, we're doing a lot of little things to it by cleaning it up, adding in an SSD just to give it that speed reliability. We're also actually swapping out the processor, even though it's kind of a part of the $20 computer. I just so happen to have an i7 that's of the same generation that fits into the same motherboard, and I'm going to be swapping it out because we're also going to be adding a really nice cooler, the Vitro V5, and this is just going to spice things up for only around $35. This is from the FSP CMT271A. This case will actually make this entire build really pop, and along with that, the power supply that FSP provided for us to make this entire build possible. It's just really nice that I will be swapping it out with a modular power supply. It is a smaller power supply going from 600 to 550, but it's modular, so making it easier on me with cables will in the long run be way better than having those ketchup and mustard cables all over the place. So I think honestly it's a good trade-off. Plus it looks a lot cooler. Please don't judge me. Thank you. So overall, we're doing a CPU upgrade, a cooler upgrade, a case upgrade, and of course a power supply upgrade. We're going with upgrade. And now the final part of this entire build will actually be the graphics card, and this was one of the hardest parts to find. I managed to find a GTX 950 2GB variant for only $50, which isn't bad at all, but it's also not great. That just kind of goes to show how bad the market is right now. I can obviously upgrade this whenever I want down the line, but I just couldn't find anything for a reasonable price, and I definitely didn't want to overpay. But the market is so dry that I see 1 to 2 listings every few days, which is crazy, and they're all overpriced to begin with. But with all that out of the way, this is basically going to be the transformation of a $20 computer into what I can only imagine is a few $100s, but realistically this is just such a small little change, but it really changes up the entire computer. It changes up how the entire computer looks, and honestly it kind of brings it a little bit more into the 2021 era. But anyways guys, enjoy the building process. I just think it's great that, you know, I can still get some life out of a system like this. It still works perfectly fine. It can be used anywhere. The GTX 950, yes, it's a limitation, but honestly, it's not like much gaming will be done on something like this. Something like this could easily be used as a workhorse computer for like Premiere Pro. And yes, NVENC would help on something like that, but like I said, the market sucks a lot right now. So down the line, you could just upgrade it, add something else in, and it would just work perfectly fine. Thank you once again to FSP for providing the case and power supply. They were honestly a great addition to make this all feel a little bit newer, and of course it just all came together very well, because at the end of the day, older components are still a very good option for budget building and keeping things under, you know, a certain budget, because a lot of the times with newer PCs, you say 500, you say 600, and you always end up going way over. It just so happens that taxes, parts, going out of stock, having to find a different component, just little things like that throw you off way more than you would ever think. So having, you know, something like a used computer where, you know, if something breaks, it's not that expensive to replace, and adding in more RAM, little things like that are just something that you can get out of the way very quickly. So now to recap this entire video, we're rocking an i7 processor, 4th generation with 16 gigabytes of RAM. We've got a GTX 950 2GB in here with a Vitro cooler on it. Even though it's not overclockable, I just want to keep everything cool for, you know, aesthetics purposes. So something that I actually didn't see is that this motherboard doesn't have a port for the RGB connection for this cooler, so that means that I can't actually use the RGB, which sucks. But I mean, the fan is also white like the case fan, so it shouldn't really matter too much, and it does keep the CPU really cool. So overall, still a very big win. And of course, we did add in that very nice 550 PSU, just because modularity just makes everything so much better in comparison to ketchup and mustard cables from EVGA. A 240GB SSD to keep everything in check. PNY SSDs always seem to work really well for me, and I always just use them in builds, and they've never failed, so I continue to use them. And they have a really good price. I think it's like 240 gigabytes for $27, so like $29 after taxes on Amazon, shipped to your door same day sometimes. That's pretty good. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything. A lot of the times in my videos, I honestly don't go into specifics, because I like showing you guys what I'm doing and showing you guys what I'm using. I just don't necessarily think of me throwing you guys a bunch of specifications and numbers will clearly help. But if you guys want that, I of course can do all that. I honestly think it's easier if I just throw you guys the important terms, which are I'm case swapping, doing this really cool project, and that's honestly what happened. Like I did a lot of little details that added up to having a big impact on this computer's just life, because like I said in the beginning of this video, this computer, it was $20 for a reason. You know, they didn't see any value in it, whereas I saw a lot of value in it, and there's so much potential that can still be used out of it. The GTX 950 100% being the bottleneck in this entire build, but honestly, it's something that I can swap out very easily down the line, so I'm not even worried at all. Anyways, guys, my name is Cryptonic. I try to upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I try, it's hard, it's very difficult, but I'm honestly really excited to get back to making videos. So anyways, guys, my name is Cryptonic. I will catch you guys later. Peace, guys.